Sometimes I find some very interesting things in the dumpster. Almost looks like it could be new. I ask, and it's an old defective printhead. So let's see what kind of printhead $700 buys. So I looked up the specs for this thing. 1,536 nozzles per color, with 12 colors, for a total of 18,432 nozzles. Can see some of the nozzle strip areas have different colors in them. Nozzle pitch is listed as 600 dpi times 2, so that works out to a nozzle length of 1.28 inches. I measured 1.3, so I missed it by 2/100ths of an inch. 124 contacts, a lot, but when considering the number of nozzles, not really that many. These little rubber seals are where the ink tubes connect to this thing. Not really much ink around them at all. The Canon part number, PF-10, and it's made in Japan. Don't see that a whole lot these days. Thing really has a solid feel to it. Has to be made from some really thick plastic. There are some screws showing, so I may not have to do any cutting to get into this thing. I'll start with these 3 screws holding this white plastic down. Bit surprised it's not just glued together. Okay, I don't think the white material is a plastic. Feels more like a ceramic. Yeah, it's definitely not plastic. There's some of the colors of ink, and this could get messy very easy. I'll have to keep me some paper towels close at hand. 12 slots to feed the ink to the heads. I'll wipe as much of this old half-dried ink off as I can. I can see this is going to use up a bunch of paper towels and gloves. No screws holding the contact PC board in, just plastic tabs that have to be softened to release it. Now that separates the head from the ink delivery. Let's take a closer look at the ink path to the heads. I'll get back to the heads in a bit. A few more screws here. These don't seem to loosen anything. The handle cover pops off, and there are some more screws hiding under the cover. This would be the top of the printhead assembly. Looks like there are some small rubber bellows. They are very soft and pliable. The intake assembly comes off as one piece. Okay, those are not sponges. That feels as hard as a rock. So the bellows assembly comes apart from the ink intake assembly. This thing is built very nice. Those bellows are quite soft. Bellows are molded from 2 pieces that look to be identical. And it doesn't really look like any ink has been up inside the bellows. Might have completely dried out by now. The ink inlet seals have a plastic frame around them. Looks like plastic tabs hold it on. Okay, it doesn't hold anything in place. Probably just for alignment of the ink tubes that go to the head. The rubber seals just push onto the plastic inlet pipes. And they fit pretty snug. Hard to see with the all-black plastic, but the ink comes in from the tubes and flows into these small rectangular openings here. The little rubber seals look solid, but there's a small slot cut in the center, so I guess they are a seal and a valve, at least if there's almost no pressure on them. No real amount of ink around the ink intake, so I guess they work pretty well. Now back to the ink intake to printhead interface section. A rubber seal around the whatever these things are. Oh, some kind of fiber it looks like. Let's see if I can get a better view of it. Yeah, very brittle and fiber-like. Probably the last line of defense in keeping chunks from clogging up the heads. Let me see if I can get one off intact. I'll try a knife here. Okay, that's a good enough piece to test. I'll see if some isopropyl alcohol will soak through it. Yeah, sure seems to. So I'm pretty sure that's what these are, filters. Really nicely assembled pieces. Very nice. But that surely is not where the $700 lies. So let's get to the business end of this printhead. Head assembly is quite heavy. Pretty thick piece of ceramic. Almost 4 millimeters thick. Only one, really not so tiny IC on the contact board. Bet it's the head ID memory chip. Definitely a hard ceramic. Wonder if it's one of those very low thermal expansion ceramics. Right there might be some of the $700. Let me clean it up a bit. See if I can not make a huge mess. More rubber seals. Oh yeah, bunch of old ink under there. So slots go through the ceramic for the ink to get to the actual heads. Here's a bit of a close-up on the head. Can see some red colors. Looks like a bit like blue and yellow for sure. Front of the contact board, where it connects to the flexible circuit, and that is a thick flex board it's connected to. Back of the contact board, with its one lone IC and 3 little, probably caps. There is still a bunch of old dried ink in the slots. Let me put it under the microscope and see. I need a lot more light for this. But this is the end near the contact board. Can see some detail. Now this is the end away from the contact board. Sure looks like some circuitry down at this end of the printhead chip. Back to the center. Let me see if I can clean the old ink out of the slots, see if that helps see anything. I'm using 91% isopropyl alcohol as a solvent. Fill the slots up with it. Let it set a bit. Brush it a bit. Now this is going to take a while. Unbelievable amount of old ink coming out of those slots. Okay, back to the microscope. This is the most light I could get on it. That's got to be another project. Focus light source for the microscope. Starting at the end closest to the control board. Definitely some circuitry before we get to the nozzle area. I'm going to follow down the yellow nozzle strip. Looks like some of the reds have gotten into the yellow strip. My cleaning was not the best. Now at the far end from the contact board, more circuitry for sure. But now that I have most of the old ink out of the slots, I can put a light behind it and see a bit more. So I didn't get as much of the old dried ink out as I would have liked, but there are some open spots where I can see a bit more of what's going on. I suspect the tiny round spots the light is coming through are the nozzles. Looks like they are offset from one another, and that makes sense. I know the Canon desktop printers use a thermal print head, but I don't know about these. If the round spot is the nozzle, let me put in some guides to help here. These look like wire bonds, and there are 2 per nozzle. The 2 sides look different here, but that's just shadow and light. Both sides are just alike. This close to square shape here has some depth to it. Maybe a capacitor? Whatever it is, there seems to be 1 per nozzle. This over here sure looks like interconnects, and there are 4 per nozzle. So that little square thing may be more than just a capacitor. I do think some of the $700 is starting to show here. The distance in between those guidelines should be about 1.67 thousandths of an inch, or a little over 0.04 millimeters. This is not a very high magnification microscope I'm using here. Still, I think there would be more detail if I could get more light to where it's needed. But this is enough to show that there is a lot of complicated and very tiny structures that make up this printhead. A lot of technology in there. A thing I did find interesting is that this 12-color printhead is really made up of 3 4-color printhead chips. That may indicate the difficulty and cost of making one of the printhead chips. One other item I noticed, the 4 of what I believe are interconnects fit within a 0.042 millimeter distance. So that would put each interconnect right around the 10 micrometer range. So this head is made with the line size of about an early 1970s semiconductor. The thing is, this chip is about 1.5 by 0.36 inches in size. Now I have no idea what substrate it's made on, but I would expect a large percentage of the cost of this thing is going to be in the 3 printhead chips. So maybe the title should have been, "Look what all you get in a $700 printhead." I guess it all comes down to how you look at it. Thank you for watching.